Can you talk about the Mahima network of homes, because that's the concept that we're starting to move toward?
I mean, right from the beginning, we were looking for Christian aftercare, and it didn't exist. And we were praying, and I know Dawn was speaking a lot at this church called Kolkata Christian Fellowship, and the pastor of the church happens to also be the president of this NGO called JKPS. It's Jatiyo Christian Prochar Committee. In English, it kind of translates roughly into National Committee to Preach about Jesus. So it's a Christian organization that's based on church planting, and they support evangelists, and they have child sponsorship programs. So aftercare was really not on their radar anywhere. They had no clue about it. So when Dawn kept talking about it, they had just purchased a property that they wanted to do a home for children who live on the railway platforms, because those kids are homeless and a lot of them get into drugs, and they wanted to do that. But hearing about the need for this aftercare, they decided that, okay, we will go for this, but we have nothing, we don't know how to do this, and you all have to do it for us. So I was only too happy to be able to do that. So we are like looking at a network where we are thinking of when a girl is rescued, usually it's a minor, unless there are forced majors who say that we've been forced here and we don't want to be here, we want to get out. So usually the police will go in to pick out if someone is a minor, because it's illegal to be a minor in prostitution. Prostitution is legal in itself in India. So if you're an adult and you choose to be in prostitution, that's fine, as long as you're not on the streets, you're not disturbing anybody and all of that. So usually the girls are minors when they come in. So the first home we do is for minor girls. Once they become 18, when they are with us, and if they've not gone back to their families, then they need to move into a system which will give them slightly more freedom, because the minor home is very secure and no one can get in without permission. The girls don't have freedom to go out because they're under court orders. So the transition home gives them a little more freedom. It gives them a better opportunities for more skill-based learning and training, and slowly to move them on towards employment. So the girls will stay in the transition home for 2 years. And in that time, they have to learn up a trade and be into some kind of employment. The hope is that after these 2 years, if they are in employment, that we will assist them in getting, we can take maybe 3 or 4 girls and put them into an apartment that we get rent for them. We pay the rent maybe for a year or two, but they are earning on their own. They can take care of their living expenses, and after that 2 years, they can be independent to move on, get married, have a family, just go back to the village, do whatever. So that is the idea of just the progression of how we are looking at a girl who cannot maybe go back to the family, or going back to the family will not give her opportunities for employment. So she might choose to remain with us, but we don't just want to leave her once she's 18. So we want to take her through up to the point where she's self-independent and has sustainable employment and be part of the community.
So there's another church partner, not Crossroads, that worked alongside JKPS to create the original Mahima home. And Crossroads has a relationship with that church. And what we're doing is we're putting together sort of a consortium, we're putting the framework together to bring in other partners as well, partners who understand the vision and who agree with it. In other words, we're not looking for generating a lot of numbers. We're not going to just get 400 girls to say that we have 400 girls. We're talking about quality, we're talking about long-term sustainability, and we have put some things in place to try to find people who get it, and then be able to leverage those resources for JKPS to be able to do these things. So I just don't want you to think that that's all Crossroads doing all that. It's not. The key aspect of what our volunteers are doing is to provide training that is wanted and needed among the local Indian church, so that they can come alongside and help organizations like JKPS, like the government homes in Mumbai and so forth. So you already have an existing infrastructure in Calcutta and JKPS and an excellent home. So our sort of part of our Crossroads vision is to support that. But Keith and Ramona, with regard to partnerships to build aftercare homes, that's primarily in Mumbai. We're sort of dreaming big dreams about the Mahima network. Right now we have the original Mahima home for minors. We have the transitional facility that is primarily funded, well, it is funded by Crossroads, and then there's even some more money going back for Mahima, generally speaking. What other homes and projects are we trying to mastermind here?
Yeah, just again to share about God's provision is that we have a gentleman who's not Christian. He's Hindu. He's a professor at one of the universities, and he has donated a huge plot of land. This is almost like 4,000 square feet or maybe more of land to us, which would probably cost in crores in rupees.
Millions.
And he had visited Mahima, and he said that I want something like this there, so can you do this on that land? And that land now belongs to JKPS. So that is another home for minors that we're looking at in the next year or so. We're also looking at setting up what is the concept of a crisis intervention center. So every time a girl is rescued, she is very, very disturbed for at least a month or 2 months. And oftentimes that creates a problem if I bring her directly into Mahima, where girls are more or less settled in and a new girl comes in, it kind of disturbs the dynamics. So the plan is to have a crisis intervention center where these girls who are newly rescued can stay for a month, get intensive counseling at that point of time, and then at the end of the month can be placed in any other aftercare home that we could have. We're also planning to have a school just for our girls, and if we have like 3 or 4 homes, then all the girls from the different homes can come to that particular school. The fourth thing that I'm looking at is a vocational training unit, which will teach the girls skills more than just sewing and tailoring, so that there will be other skills that they can learn. But this is a place that I would want people from the community to also have access to. So in that case, the girls also get to develop friendships. They slowly get back into meeting people and relating at a friendship level and just getting back into the community while still being in a secure environment. So this is what we're looking over the next 2 or 3 years with the Mahima Network.
This has been going on for thousands of years, but things can reach a tipping point. Things can change, and this country is a good example of it. So you can't look at the images that say, no, it's always going to be this way. You have to realize that avalanches occur, and you just keep working to build that avalanche.